My name is Lim Jing, and I'm the Chief Technology Officer of Osteopore International Private Limited.
My name is Goh Kun Seng. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Osteopore International Limited. We have the technology to allow the patient's own blood cells, tissues and blood vessels to grow into an implant, which eventually will regenerate into whether it's bone tissue or some form of soft tissue. And in order to do that, we use a 3D printing to create a scaffold structure. Then that will provide the support for all these other activities that are going to happen and at a location that is supposed to happen, so that the bone will be regenerated where the defect is.
When it comes to healing bone defects, if we are able to achieve a certain microstructure, a certain shape, really go into the details about how we can actually apply concepts of regenerative medicine or tissue engineering in a clinical setting, I think that's where we can really realize the potential of the technology. At the very beginning, we just had ideas, and we wanted to test them out to see how feasible those ideas were. As researchers, you will have this sense of skepticism in you that it may not work. So eventually, when it did show some results and they were quite encouraging, everyone got quite excited. I think that's a tipping point where we really wrote into NTUitive to say, we may have something going on here. Is there a possibility that this can become an intellectual property of some sort? So I think there was a lot of discussion between ourselves and NTUitive as a researcher at that time to kind of scope out what this technology really is and then how it can be positioned that is attractive to companies. So eventually when the company got involved in this discussion, then obviously we were looking at the possibilities of where this technology can be applied to. So again, NTUitive was inside this process, and that's where I think the technology got licensed. And even after the licensing, the prosecution of the grant still go on. So in that process, they have also been very active to try and maintain the involvement, right, and the guidance from whatever perspective.
On the commercial side, they were very active in introduce us investors, very, very regularly. So we will go meet up with investors and present. They were so proactive. So that is, something that is very different from what I'm used to. Almost like transferring their network to us. So I think that's a very important part.
The scene has changed between those almost 10 years. I think at this point there are a lot more grants that the government are providing in terms of encouraging just to start up something. And there's a lot more platforms for them to be able to interact with potential investors. I think it's probably just to how we can build on this platform that has already been created to allow the startups to grow out of being a startup, encourage them to transform into an SME. Then that probably will create a lot more sustainable outcomes for longer term. I feel that there is a sense that more and more people are looking for a sense of purpose in the things that they are doing. So that might also be another reason why there are more people looking at starting up.
When you do a startup, it is important that they do something that they believe in. They must know why they want to do it. The objective is, what do we provide to the society with our technology, with our know-how? How do we serve the population at large? Did we make life better? I think that is more important.